Hey, I'm Rex the Dog. I'm a YouTuber here. I stream basically every day, and when I'm not streaming, I like to post videos, and I like to do little reviews now. That's kind of what I'm doing. So we've talked about Ninja Gaiden 4, obviously, when we're playing it on stream. We streamed the game. We've talked about Ninja Gaiden 4 a little bit on my my media log, what I've been watching, what I've been playing sort of log. But I want to talk a bit about Ninja Gaiden 4 a bit more at length and kind of... So some of the significance behind it of like, you know, like I guess kind of like legacy of Team Ninja and then like Platinum Games coming back to, well, not coming back, but getting involved to develop this one. So Ninja Gaiden franchise, like, I mean, it's got its roots like way back in the day with like the older side-scrolling games, but like you start to think about the reboot, which happened to Xbox back in like 2004 or whatever it was. That's where you started getting its real, you know, modern incarnation, and this really does feel like a game from that era. This game does feel like it's something that could have been, you know, albeit with lower specs or whatever, appear on the original Xbox, on the PS2, something like that. They built up kind of this reputation for like brutal, high-scale, reflex-based action and like slick animations and all that kind of stuff. You know, that reputation, I guess, like Dark Souls and stuff had. That's what like Ninja Gaiden had on like the Xbox, and when they started porting them over with Ninja Gaiden Black and all that kind of stuff. Ninja Gaiden's always been super fun. It's disappeared for a long time. I think it's been like 10 years or 12 years. It's been like it's been like a hot minute since we had Ninja Gaiden 3. I think that was sort of like 2013 or something like that. It's really been a hot minute since we got that. And yeah, they've completely, it's sort of laid dormant, and I guess like Team Ninja are more focused on things like Neo and all these sorts of things, but it's cool to kind of see Ninja Gaiden come back, and for it to come back with Platinum Games, which is a studio I was a huge fan of, and now I've kind of lost track of them. The deal with Platinum Games is, Platinum Games was formed back in like, I don't know, 2007, 2008, something like that, and it was like a merger between a few Japanese companies, but they formed this new studio, Platinum Games, with a bunch of the former Capcom staff, specifically the staff from Clover Studio. Now, Clover Studio was like this banger studio within Capcom who did, you know, games like Beautiful Joe. They did games like Okami. Like, Clover Studio was just like banger, God Hand, like all these like absolute sick games. Hideki Kojima, Shinji Mikami, Atsushi Inaba, like all these like core, you know, sick, you know, pillars of Capcom, you know, the people who like, you know, did all the various Resident Evil games or whatever, and Devil May Cry, and then they got, it's like, boom, here we go. And they quickly got like really well known for sick, also stylish, like action games, you know. So you had like Bayonetta coming out, you had Vanquish coming out, you had Mad World, like all these ones out of the gate, which were sick. A bit later down the line, you got like Nier Automata, and then they've kind of like fell off a bit, but those core principles that like formed Platinum Games, of just sort of like, you know, bold, like action, player empowerment, flashy combos, stylish execution, like character action games, you know, is kind of the change of the terming before hack and slash to like character action games. We've got these stylish action games, and I see these guys like team up together, and go to like kind of like the pure hack and slash character action game lineage of a Ninja Gaiden is really, really, really exciting. I think this game really, really works. It's like a return to high speed. It's reminiscent of previous like Ninja Gaiden games. The combat is like pretty dense. It's varied. The new pro tag you play as, this guy over here, in front of Ryu, he's called Yakumo, and he's cool. He's pretty quick. He's a lot quicker. He's a lot less kind of bulkier. He's quicker than Ryu Hayabusa. but you still have got like all of the weapon switching and combo variety and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously like you get to be Ryu now. You get to be Ryu as well, so it gives you like it gives you options, you know, for replaying it and then replaying with all different weapons and obviously the special weapon you get at the end and all that kind of stuff. It's cool, man. It's cool. I understand that if you've got like a really sick PC, you can play this at like 120 frames per second, like locked, and it's like I just played it on my struggling along Xbox Series S, and I had a good time. I thought the performance was pretty good. But I can imagine all this like flashy animations and like cool combat can just like, you know, you up the frame rate even more. Is probably really, really sick and really enjoyable, but it's not required. I didn't require it. I didn't have the option. Anyway, the difficulty is definitely there, you know? I mean, you can scale it, of course. It's got like different difficulty modes and whatever. I guess, honestly for me, if I was gonna like actually poo-poo on this game, because generally I think this is a really strong return for the series, and I think it reestablishes, along with the remake of 2 that came out in February, and I've heard this new 2D game's sick as well. I think this really establishes like Ninja Gaiden's identity as like sharp hack and slash and not like bending to a more soul style action trend. And you know, Ninja Gaiden's been away for a hot minute, so reestablishing yourself like that is kind of necessary, you know, for people who don't necessarily know what it is. I think Platinum Games getting involved and reestablishing themselves is like, oh dude, we can do this, is sick. I have better hopes for like Bayonetta 4, because Bayonetta 3 was, I like Bayonetta 3 a lot, but it's kind of messed up by the hardware. Like, it should be better than it is, you know. It kind of feels like it's held back by the Switch. And I don't say a lot about the last Switch games, but I think it's a problem with Bayonetta 3 where they didn't scale it appropriately to that system. I think it's their fault, because they know what they were dealing with. You know what I mean? Like, you don't try and... Dude, you don't try and make, like, a gourmet meal with a microwave oven. You know what I'm saying? But I think this game's really good, but if I was gonna poo-poo on it, I think you can argue that it feels like a Platinum Games game rather than a pure iteration of a previous Ninja Gaiden. I'm not complaining because I want Platinum Games. I want old school Platinum Games. So I'm not complaining about that, but I could understand if you were like a big time Ninja Gaiden guy and you were like, this feels too much like Platinum and not enough like Ninja Gaiden. I would get that. The story is like complete poo-poo. Like remote, really don't care. Characters are like absolutely paper thin. But I don't care. I'm there to be a ninja in a cybernetic world and go like, you know? And I would say that, like, there is, like, difficulty spikes. And it is kind of uneven, of some bits feeling like a breeze, and then some bits feeling like, whoa, and then some feels like a breeze. I will say it's kind of, like, uneven balancing, but I don't know. Get good, I guess. Get good. I think this is worth your time. If you've like ever been remotely interested in these kind of games, like you like Bayonetta, you like Devil May Cry, you like previous Ninja Gaidens, you like character action, you like these kind of games, I think this is sick. Also, if you're somebody who dips your toes into Game Pass, you know, like I do, I'm not a constant subscriber of Game Pass, but I dip myself in for a month and play a bunch of stuff. It's there, and I think you look at a bunch of other things there that might pique your interest. I think you could play this within a pretty sick month of Game Pass, or just go and get the game a la carte. You know, you make your purchasing decisions however you want to do that. But yeah, no, I think it's cool. If you're a little bit more cautious, wait for a sale. This will get one sale, you know, and become a lot more affordable, and it will continue to be pretty cool. But if you do just want like a carbon copy of like Ninja Gaiden, like previous ones, maybe just get the Ninja Gaiden 2 Black Remake. If you hear the story, you're like, move on, bro. But if you're here for like that action and that gameplay and stuff like that, I think you will have a good time. I know, I certainly did. I'm going to continue to talk about games and do little reviews here. I'm going to kind of try and talk about stuff which is kind of relevant at the moment, whether it's new releases or whether it's old releases which are still kind of like in the limelight. I'm going to sort of keep these reviews to some stuff that are kind of somewhat culturally relevant, rather than just like, I played random poo-poo game on the Game Boy Advance. Maybe I will do that. Actually, maybe I will do that. It kind of maybe sounds appealing to me. I don't know. I'm gonna keep doing reviews though. That's the point. If you wanna see me play these games, I play these games on stream pretty much every day. If you want to go back and check these things out, you go through the live archive. There's like a freaking poop ton of them. Trying to organize them in playlists so you can like find them more easily. Description below, we got Discord server, we got Telegram, we got Twitter, so you can like interact and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and peace out. Mwah. Bye 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 bye.